Hello students, this is Shaheen, and in this particular lecture video we are going to discuss a topic that is relevant for class 11 as well as class 12. The concept is business entity concept. What does business entity concept is related? In this lecture we would like to discuss business entity concept with definition as well as the example with the various different aspects as well as the merits or the reason behind this concept. In this lecture we will discuss all these 3 points. Now if we talk about the definition, what does business entity concept means? It consists of 2 parts, that is business and entity. Business and the another one is entity. Business means the transaction which we are going to consider in our daily life, like purchasing of a marker as well as the business activities. Okay, and the entity is the owner. Entity means the owner. Now, business, in this concept it says that business is differentiated or separated from the business is separated from the entity or the owner, or the transaction which occur or which is relevant to business means the business transactions, or the transactions which is related to the owner like day-to-day transactions or the drawing personal transactions. Now, business transactions are relevant for the business and the personal transactions which are irrelevant for business. The relevant transactions are recorded in business entity concept and the personal transactions which are irrelevant are not recorded in business. This concept says business is differentiated from the owner. Now, business entity concept is also known as various names, like business entity concept is also known as economic entity concept. The another one name is accounting entity concept. Now, for your better understanding, we would like to discuss an example so that this concept is clear in your head. Now, Mr. Ram acquired a floor which has 3 halls. 4 rupees $50,000 means it is the floor and the floor has 3 halls, number 1 hall, number 2 hall and number 3 hall. Out of these 3 halls, the 2 halls are used for business purpose and the one is used for personal purpose. Means the number 1 and the number 2 is used for business purpose like the office purpose or furniture type of purpose, etc. This is the business transactions. Hence, it will be recorded in business items. And the third one is personal transaction. Personal aspects of business. Okay. The 2 halls are used for business purpose and the third one is used for personal purpose. Hence, these two means 1 and 2, these two will be a valid expense for business according to business entity concept. Now in हिंदी वालों के लिए बिजनेस एंटिटी कॉन्सेप्ट जो है वो ये कहता है बिजनेस और जो उसका मालिक है, ऑनर है, वो बिल्कुल अलग अलग लोग हैं, उनका अलग अलग रोल होता है। बिजनेस की ट्रांजैक्शन को, जो भी चीज़ें आपने बिजनेस में करी हैं, जो दिन पे दिन आप बिजनेस के लिए कर रहे हो, उनको आप बिजनेस में रिकॉर्ड करोगे, लिखोगे, और जो आपकी पर्सनल ट्रांजैक्शंस होती हैं उनको आप अलग से रिकॉर्ड करोगे, उसको आप मिलाओगे नहीं, मिक्स नहीं करोगे बिजनेस ट्रांजैक्शंस के साथ। अब नाउ द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज what are the reasons why we have to study business entity concept, the reasons behind business entity concept. Reason why. Number one point is the comparison. For example, if you talk about the two persons, for example Mr. A as well as Mr. B. Mr. A is shoe manufacturing company as well as Mr. B is also a shoe manufacturing business. Mr. A manufacture 200 shoes or Mr. B manufacture 100, or you can say 200, or you can say 300 as per the requirement of the consumers. Now if you talk about the business transaction or business expenses, the business expenses of Mr. A is same as you can say Mr. B, because the business expenses is like the raw material or day to day, the daily wages of the worker are, you can say, same. But if you talk about the personal expenses, so do you think that the personal expenses are the same? No. If Mr. A has 15 members in their family and Mr. B had 2 members, so can you think the personal expenses of A or personal expenses of B are the same? No, the personal expenses are not the same. Hence, we cannot compare the personal expenses. Hence, this concept is applied that comparison cannot be possible if you consider both the business as well as the owner same. So, this concept is comparison is not be possible if you talk about the personal expenses and business expenses same. And if the comparison is not possible, and how can you compare or how can you conclude the profitability or the financial position of the company? This also cannot be concluded. Profitability is accurately considered when the comparison must be possible, when you can say the profit of the two different companies must be comparable, then you can say the accurate profitability will be considered only when business and the personal expenses or the owner will be different. Financial position can be also considered when this concept is applied. Now the fourth point is taxation benefit. Just for your understanding, Mr. A is a person who has some personal expenses and Mr. A has some personal expenses and it bears some taxes, personal tax, direct tax, income tax. he bear income tax. He had to file income tax per year. And Mr. A had a business, marker business, for example, marker business. And in this business, it occurred a loss for 20 lakh. So can you think, is it be possible that the profit of this can be concluded with the loss of this? Mr. A says, I am not filing income tax because I had a loss of 20 lakh in that business. No. So taxation benefit is concluded honestly when business is separated from its owner, the expenses or the personal expenses which bear by A is not considered as a loss for making, cannot be cop up with the benefit of a company, cannot be cop up with the benefit, the loss for making another company. These are the benefits, and this is the definition, this is the example, and the last point which I would like to discuss is, the star point is partnership firm. Partnership firm not considered business entity concept. Why it doesn't consider? Because in partnership firms, partners are the members and they are the owner, hence they had unlimited liability and they have to deal with the losses with from as an owner also. Partnership firm does not consider business entity concept. This is all about the business entity concept, and we would like to thank you all.